her bed, staring up at the ceiling as she did every night. That boring, plain old ceiling with nothing of any interest other than her pretty purple light shade. Millie was 7 years old and was the only child of Colin and Barbara. They were very strict school teachers and were not the happy-go-lucky types that would fill Millie's world with the idea of fantastical things that existed outside of our realm. Nothing like the stories she'd heard from her best friend Claire. Claire had told Millie about the adventures she would have every night before she went to sleep, and they would all start when she would gaze up at her ceiling light.
"Stare at it, Millie. Just keep staring until you see it starting to spin, and then the magic will start," she told her.
Why won't it work for me? Millie thought to herself, staring at her ceiling light, eyes opened as wide as they could be. "Ugh!" she frustratedly growled.
"This is silly. I guess I'm not magic like Claire."
She frowned and turned over to go to sleep.
"You're not trying hard enough,"
the little voice exclaimed. Millie bolted upright in her bed and gasped.
"Who was that?"
she whispered loudly.
"It was me," the voice replied. "Up here."
Millie slowly lifted her head towards the ceiling to find a little elf-like fellow lying down on the ceiling next to the light. She trembled and covered her mouth in shock.
"Well, don't be scared now, little one. I'm not a bad elf. I'm a good elf,"
he announced, beginning to float, crossing his legs and placing his hands behind his head.
But...
Millie began to pull the covers up, covering her mouth and nose, though she couldn't stop staring at the small elf, no bigger than a large bag of flour.
"But? There are no buts, little Millie. Only becauses."
"Becauses?" Millie questioned.
"Yes, because,
he cheekily replied. "Because what?" Millie asked, whilst now relaxing a bit and slowly pulling the blanket down from her face.
"Because this is what you wanted, so I'm here to assist you. That's my job, you see. I'm an assisting elf."
"Oh, well, what's your name?" Millie asked him, a slight smile now forming on her cherub-like face.
"Name?"
he replied. "Yes, what is it?"
"No,"
he answered. "What?" Millie replied, becoming confused.
"Not what either. Name,"
he informed her. You already know my name somehow," Millie suggested.
"Your name isn't somehow, it's Millie,"
the cheeky elf said.
"Well,
yes it is, but what is your name?" she said, beginning to get frustrated.
"I already told you."
"No, you did not."
"Yes, I did so."
"But you didn't."
"I did. It's name."
"What?"
"My name is Name."
Your name is Name?" Millie replied, now standing on her bed and stretching her neck up to get a better view of the weirdly named Name.
"Yes, my name is Name, and I am the assisting elf, at your service."
Name slowly floated down from the ceiling and positioned himself directly in front of Millie's face.
"So, do you want to see all of that amazing stuff that little Claire has told you about?"
he asked, gently pinching her little nose.
"Oh, yes, please, Name. Yes, please. I want to see the dancing stars, the purple rain clouds where the candy pixies live, the gentle giants of Ashafar, Okay. Slow down, little one. And it's Azrafor, not Ashafar. And we only have a couple of hours to do this in."
Name interrupted, swooshing round her room, hand on chin in a thoughtful fashion.
"I suppose we could start with the dancing stars. Or the time tunnels,"
Name suggested gleefully. "Time tunnels?" Millie inquired.
They are fascinating, and they let you see your future."
"Oh, that sounds amazing, but scary."
"Well, they're not for everyone, only special people. And they can be a tad unnerving if you're not strong-minded, yes. So what do you want to see? You can pick one thing." But remember, you have to believe or it won't work,
Name told Millie, now sitting on her shoulder.
Well, I'd like to see...
Millie struggled to choose from so many amazing things. Her innocent little mind was cycling like crazy. How could she possibly choose?
How about I surprise you, Millie?
Name suggested, slightly impatient with Millie, but of course, understanding her obvious excitement.
Okay then.
Millie began jumping up and down on her bed, unable to contain herself.
Right. Well, firstly, stare up at the light shade. Focus and it will begin rotating.
He pointed and looked up at the ceiling light, and Millie did the same, focusing hard. Then, all of a sudden...
Oh, wow! Oh, wow! It's working! It's working, Name! It's spinning! I told you. Just believe. If you believe, then anything is possible.
Name watched as Millie became overwhelmed at the sight that was forming above her. The light rotated, getting faster by the second, until a tunnel of 1,000 colours and indescribable patterns began to form where the light once was. Her room lit up, and her eyes were in disbelief of what they were viewing.
Wow! How do we go into it, Name?
You just believe, Name replied as Millie looked up and suddenly started to float up towards it. She looked down, noticing that she was no longer standing on her bed. She was quite literally flying toward the amazing and fantastic tunnel of colours and patterns that was now on her ceiling.
Is this safe, Name?
She asked with a curious smile.
It couldn't be safer, little one. Just let yourself go,
Name replied, holding onto her hand as the tunnel got faster with its rotation. Suddenly, Millie was inside of this awesome tunnel and was then, as if by magic, standing on the other side.
What? Where am I? Name? Where did you go? Hello?
Millie found herself in the most beautiful field, full of flowers of unusual colours, pink grass, purple trees, crystal rocks, and other fantastical things that surely no one other than Claire's ever seen before. "Hello, young Millie," a strong but calming voice called out.
Hello? Where are you? I can't see you,
Millie replied, circling herself around trying to locate where the voice was coming from. "I'm all around you, Millie. Don't worry. You have nothing to fear. This is our home, a place only special beings are invited to. We have long awaited you," the voice replied, happy at Millie's arrival.
Really? But why?
"Because, Millie, you are special, and now that you believe, you're able to visit whenever you wish. You're going to learn many things from your visits here too, just as your good friend Claire has." Millie smiled big and began to walk around, admiring the nature that was all around her. How could she be so special? So special to be able to be experiencing something so far beyond anything imaginable.
How am I special, sir?
Millie asked. "Oh, Millie, you have much to learn. Don't rush things. Just allow yourself to experience. Everything else will fall into place. I promise you."